Hello and welcome to the Fit and Fabulous and NEH podcast. We are actually shifting things a little bit here today. I have made a executive decision to transition our podcast to more of a competing slash prep podcast. Now, before you exit out and stop listening, for those of you who are in the middle of a fat loss phase, a building phase, or just trying to work on your health, I promise you, you will relate to a lot of the things we're going to talk about. Me and Dakota had this conversation last week of why maybe we just need to start talking about our preps and what we go through, because I feel like, as women, as coaches who coach women who go through fat loss, not just competition prep, we all kind of deal with the same things, maybe different levels, but emotionally and mentally, it's very much so the same playing field. So we're going to talk about it today. And you guys are just going to hear like real conversation with us. So I kind of wanted to start this podcast off. We're going to talk about disappointment today, and how to deal with disappointment in your fat loss journey. But honestly, we're going to talk about this on a personal level, me and Dakota. How we've dealt with disappointment, disappointing outcomes from shows, disappointing outcomes from like our bodies not responding, disappointing outcomes, and like how we've actually worked through that, because I feel like a lot of women hit the disappointment and then they give up. And that's a really shitty place to be at, because feeling disappointed sucks. Like, and I'll talk about myself in a minute, but like I just experienced some really disappointing weekends. And I think it's really important to talk about it and to talk about what it feels like and then how to bounce back from that and not just let it completely pull you down. Um, so
Yeah. First, I know you're
Dakota,
talking about like your disappointing couple weekends, but first I want you to touch on three things that went well over your past couple weekends. We'll start there and then we'll jump
okay,
into the parts that were more hard.
okay, Coach Dakota. Um, so honestly, I think the biggest thing I love about competing, and I'm finding this, I found this a lot last year, and in through the journey, and I think this is really important, like in any journey you're in, any hard thing you're going through or time you're pushing yourself, is to find opportunities to create relationships. I have created and made some of like the greatest friends just literally from the last year of competing. I have found like some of my people. Like when I say my people, they're like my people. Some of these women I become really close with at shows. Sometimes some of them it's just like friendships that we stay in touch. But I think that's like one big thing for me is just like creating those friendships and those relationships, because I know those will stick around a lot longer than me getting on that stage. Like those friendships are really important. I would say the next thing would be, it's really fun to step on a stage as a pro. I definitely never thought I'd be at this place where I would be competing as a pro. When they announce your name, they're like, okay, and now we have the IFBB pro level competitors. We've got competitor number blah blah blah, Brooklyn Good Cell, IFBB. So that's really cool for me because I never thought I'd be at that place. So that's been really fun. Being backstage and being like, wow, like we're all pros. Like this is really cool. Being on stage with other women who are like at that high level, that's really fun. Um, I don't know. Lastly, I think like for me, like the last 2 weekends, really brought to me like some awareness of things that were happening that I kind of shoved down in a way that I needed to address and I needed to fix and improve if I wanted to improve as an athlete. And sometimes I feel like we go through some like really shitty moments in order for us to kind of maybe fix or change, so that we can be better, not just as like an athlete, but like as like working towards a goal. So I feel like that's not a negative, but it was like a hard thing, but it's turning into a positive thing because it's allowing me to make a change.
For sure, for sure. Brooklyn, I loved it, everything you said. It all came down back to relationships and realizing who's in your corner, who's not in your corner, who believes in you. I mean, we talk about that all the time, how important that support is. every one of those things that you mentioned, like it comes down to relationships. So that's really cool that all the three things that you loved and experienced the past couple weekends, that it came down to the people who made the difference.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like when you're competing or when you're working towards a health goal, like period, you really do need to have people in your corner. And let me tell you, like, if you have people that like you can feel it from them that they like don't believe in you, that really sucks. Like that's a really shitty feeling. And even like my friends said things to me over the weekend and they were like, I noticed this, Brooklyn, like, I even had like my one of my really good friends, she's like, I think like you're gonna get there. You just need someone, who believes in you. So anyways, I know this sounds like so like sporadic and random, but I don't know. I kind of want to talk about like I don't know that I don't want to like make this a negative podcast, but I also kind of want to be real. I feel really like I feel better today. Yesterday I felt like trash. I got worse placing yesterday. I was in the sea of 16 compared to where I was the weekend before, where I got 12th, which I know doesn't sound high, like if you're an NPC competitor, but when you're a pro, once you hit 16th place as a pro, you basically they don't place you after that. Like you're what we call the sea of 16. And so to go from like placing what I thought was not great to even worse, I was like, well, it can't get worse than this. Oh, it did. And when I saw that, and when I was on stage, like I literally just like felt so like this kind of sucks. Luckily, again, back to the relationships, I have really good people that I'm at these shows with, my friends. Again, make friends when you compete, or just make sure you have good people in your corner, because getting off stage, it wasn't like doom and gloom. It was like, I'm here with my people. Um, but it definitely doesn't feel good. Like when you don't reach where you want to reach, you kind of go into this place in your head, and I have to pull myself out pretty quickly, but I go into this place sometimes where it's like, why the fuck am I even doing this? Like, I immediately was like, I'm taking time away from my family. Financially, this is really expensive. The amount of time and energy on just a day to day basis. Like, why am I even doing this? Have you ever been there, Dakota? Like after a show, or even
No,
like in
that's
coming into a show, into a goal?
oh, 100%, 100%. I did several shows back to back last year. Like my season was quite long. We started in September, it went through December. We kind of just did like a run of shows. But going even into these national level shows this season, like last night, me and Casey booked plane tickets, and they are so ridiculously expensive. We're going to Pittsburgh, and it's so expensive. And I literally had the hardest time last night. I like last night we were booking flights, and I told Casey, I was just like, Casey, I don't know if I can keep doing this. Like it's so funny that you're having this conversation right now, because I was like, I love it so much, but it is so expensive. Every aspect of it, the flights, the travel, the hotel, the tan, the suit, your makeup, like every part of it is expensive. But then you step on that stage and you're like, this is why I do this. I love this so much. And then you meet these people, and they're such great people, and they support you, and they're excited for you, and even when things don't go as planned, they'll I've had people who are like, I'm so sorry, and they'll get down on your level and be like, this is hard, like I'm sorry that that's how it went. But back to last night, me and Casey having this conversation, and I was just like, Casey, I love this so much, but I was like, I don't know if I can keep doing show after show after show, because like I'm like, this is what I want to do. Right now I'm shooting to get my pro card, putting it out there. I never straight up say that, but we're shooting to get my pro card. And part of that is doing these national level shows that are so expensive. And anyways, our flights out there are so expensive. And I told Casey, I was like, financially, like, we're fine, but it is a lot of freaking money that I'm putting towards this goal. And I was like, I need you to help me to be realistic in these moments and say, is this still worth it? And so then last night we had this conversation, and Casey goes, listen, I am here 100% for your goals. He's like, and if that looks like, we do put money towards this, he's like, I 100% support you. And having just me being able to talk to Casey in that aspect and tell him exactly how I feel, and being able to like be super open in that aspect, and him being like, no, like, if this is what you want, this is what we're going to do. That was everything. Because if I had somebody that I was talking to who told me, this is expensive, this is getting ridiculous, we've done several shows now, like, do you really want to keep shooting for this? Do you really think you're going to make it? Like, if somebody even gave me that a little amount of, are you going to do this? Like, that right there for me would be an, like, well, why am I doing this, And so again, back to that support. It's so funny that you like had those same exact feelings this weekend. We're in completely different spots. Like, I'm not even competing right now, right? I'm like 2.5 weeks out, but you actually stepped on stage and had those same feelings. And it's funny. It's so similar, those feelings.
That's crazy. The 2 week out freak out is like, that is so real.
It really is.
But honestly, like, you will have many, even me, I'm not even kidding you. I went through that over the weekend. Like, financially, I literally called Jordan, like, thank goodness for good husbands. I am so grateful for Casey. I mean, I knew Casey was a good guy after we hung out. I think we all went to Boise together when you guys were dating. I was
That's
like,
right. When we first started dating,
yeah,
we competed and they both were.
yeah,
Wow,
they
we
were
have
both
great,
there. Me and
great
Jordan were married.
husbands.
I know, and
Yeah.
Casey was so supportive of you and so excited for you. So of course he's like, Dakota, whatever you want to do. Because I think, like, when we get into these low moments, like, I called Jordan, and I haven't cried the last 2 weekends. Because I'm not. I feel like I'm not, like, emotionally, like, that upset, but I'm just more of like, is this worth it for me anymore to do this? And I called Jordan, and I literally say almost the exact same things, Dakota. I'm not even kidding you. I like added up how much it costs just to go to Orlando to compete this last weekend, just for myself to go. Nobody else came with me. It was $1,400 total for the trip, just for myself. And as a pro, I don't pay entry fees. My fees are covered through the IFBB because I'm a pro. So I save like probably close to maybe $400, if that, but I still have to pay for my makeup. I'm also a sponsored athlete. My suits are covered, but I still have to pay for travel. I still pay for all these things. And for me, I'm like, is this worth it? And so I called Jordan. I'm like, well, I'm spending money on this and this and this. And he goes, well, Brooklyn, like, answer this for me. What if you did just stop right now? Like, what if you just decided to stop working towards this? How would that make you feel? And I'm like, I'd regret it. I know I would regret it. I would
Hmm.
look back and be like, why the fuck did I stop? Like, that was stupid. I was emotional. I was in my head. I was worried about money, which in our family is like always a thing, right? We grew up with a dad as an accountant. So, like, money really drives a lot of our decisions. But I feel like for a lot of women, it's kind of a surface level excuse. Like, let's be honest. It's expensive. But if the investment is worth it for you, you'll keep doing it until you want to get. Last year, I don't even want to get into how much money I spent last year trying to get my pro card. It was stupid, stupid expensive. But I look back at that and I don't even think twice about the amount of money I spent last year. I could
Hmm.
give two shits about the amount of money I spent last year trying to get my pro card, because I finally, like, fucking did it and I made it happen. Was it expensive? Oh yeah. Did it cost me a lot, like, from my time, my energy? Yeah, but I gained so much more from all the time, money, and energy I put into my season last year to get to where I am now, that it was worth it for me. So like I'm telling you this Dakota now, like where you're at right now, I was there last year. It is if you want it and it's something you're like, I've been dreaming about this. Like this is something I really, really want. Like it's fucking worth it. It really is. No matter amount of money. Because here's the thing. No amount of money, no amount of influence or anything can buy you that pro card. That pro card comes from
Mm-hmm.
hard ass work. Period. That's it. And when you have that in your hand and you're like, this is fucking mine, nobody can take it from you. I mean, someone could burn my pro card down, but I know that I still have it because I earned that. I earned that status. And I think like anytime we work towards something in our lives that's bigger than us and something maybe we wanted for a long time, um, we find little reasons of why we shouldn't. And I feel like money's a big thing that we look at because
Money's an easy
yes,
one.
anytime
Mm-hmm.
it's an easy scapegoat. It's an easy scapegoat to be like, oh, it's expensive. Well, you know what else is fucking expensive? Going out with you know how much money I spent on Saturday? I haven't been out like with friends. Like I never, my friends are all like married with
It's
kids. And so when
so
we go out, it's like,
expensive to eat out.
yeah,
It's so
it
expensive.
was
It's
like,
crazy
I
expensive.
spent $100 on drinks and food in one
Yeah,
freaking night. And I was like,
right.
wow, this
Do
is
you
stupid.
do you remember our bill when we took mom to get food in Vegas? We got the bill. We're like, "Mom, we got it." And we got the bill. We're like, "What the fuck did we get?"
Actually, Mom, we know about it. Will you pay for it? But we did pay for it because it was our birthday. It was the
It's
drinks.
so
So like,
funny.
you want to know, like for women who are like, it's expensive to hire a coach. It's expensive to work towards my goals. Food is expensive. Well, it's fucking expensive. It's like fucking insanely expensive to go out to eat and drink once or twice a week. That is
Well,
costing you more money than hiring a coach ever will or
100%.
working towards your goals. I could not believe $150 is what I spent on Saturday for going out to eat for lunch and
That,
then going out for dinner and drinks. And I was like,
yeah.
that's stupid. I'm like, I don't spend that money when I'm home with my family because
No.
I cook at home. We don't drink. Like I think the last time I drank was like last August. And like if money's not the real issue here. Like let's be
Mm-mm.
honest. Like
Mm-mm.
it is like, ooh, sometimes when you see the amount of money you're putting in towards competing, but when you step back for a minute, is it really the issue? Is money really the problem? Or is it your fear of if I put all this money into this, is it going to pay off?
Yeah.
I think that's what
No,
it really is. If we're
I
being
agree. I agree with that. I remember when I came to you and I said, Brooklyn, I'm looking at hiring a coach, right? Because you always coached me. And I was like, hey, Brooklyn, I want to take this to the next level. I'm looking at hiring a coach. You said, best investment ever. And 100%, every penny that I have put towards my coach, 100% worth it. I don't regret a dime of that going to my coach. Guess what? Sometimes I even pay him a little extra because I just love him so much. Like, like it's just so great to have somebody who helps you reach your goals. And it's just, yeah, 100% worth the money. But yeah, thanks for saying that because, yeah, for sure. Oh, yeah. Anyways, just all the feelings. And then guess what? I woke up this morning and I said 100% getting that pro card and doing whatever shows my coach recommends me to do, that's what I'm doing. Like whatever his game plan is for me, that's what I'm going to be doing. You know? Like that's I
I
woke
think
up like
I
clarity. Like and I was just like this is what I want. I needed to feel that though to be
you
like yes.
you had a low moment. And
I needed to
I
sit in
feel
that.
it's thank goodness for our husbands who don't like let us stay in that place and let
Yeah.
us hit the sabotage button when we get there. I've been there a million times. Last year, I can't tell you how many times I told Jordan I was like, I'm done, and he's like, No, you're not. Like, if you were done, you would not be like doing this and this and this. And he goes, and I know you. You don't want to be done, and I'm like, you're right. I don't want to be done because I always come back to it, right? If it's
Mhm.
something you've been thinking about for a long time, if it's something you've wanted, whether it be like getting your pro card or for me, it's like right now, like I want to try to go for the Olympia. Like doing that, or you just want to get in like the best body ever and it's something you've been thinking about and you keep like you're just like I want it. Like fucking go for it. Like, but you can't let your little like scapegoat excuses take over for too long. They do take over. My first three things I go to after a show when I don't do well, and I'm not kidding you, I immediately feel I loads of guilt. Wow, I took time away from Brecken and my family. Immediately. And I hate that because I actually am not the only one. I talked to other moms at the show and they said the exact same things. And I think it's and I said to them, I asked them, I said, well, what if you would have gotten like top five? And they're like, and I'm like, would you feel guilty? And they're like, no. And I'm like, I wouldn't either because it would feel like it's worth it.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
that's what's weird. Like we forget that the experience maybe is part of the worth that's happening because it's building us to maybe a different place of where we need to go. For me, this weekend was necessary. Maybe not from a placing standpoint, that sucked, but I needed to make some shifts in
Mm-hmm.
my competing career so I could continue to thrive. So, like, immediately we feel guilty about taking time away. And I think this is the same with women with their fitness goals. If they don't reach it, they're like, is this even
100%.
worth it? Like, is the
Yes.
amount of money spending worth it to me right now? Because we go through the same thing as competitors when we get off stage. Is this, wow, this was really expensive to be here. Like, is this worth it? And then, like, it's almost like, well, maybe I should quit. Like, maybe I should stop. But if you can't stop thinking about it and it's something that's really important to you, quitting's not going to get you there any quicker. You might just need to shift your efforts maybe to like a different strategy. Sometimes you just need to keep going. That's really a lot of it. It's literally consistency. And a lot of it is just not letting those voices in your head take over so you don't quit. Because
Right.
quitting, it is easier. It is easier. Quitting is easier. I will say, like, my season, last season, Dakota, honestly, it would have been so much easier for me to quit. But honestly, I would look back at that right now at this point in my life and I've been like, why the fuck did I quit? I
Well,
would have been pissed at myself.
and look at how much you grew as a person. That's the other thing is like all those experiences and all those ups and downs, like you grew so much as a person. And Casey actually said this to me again, amazing support, right? Great husbands. He actually said this to me a few weeks ago. He said, the past few years since you started competing and actually like putting time and effort into yourself, he's like, I have never seen you be more you and more out of your shell than ever. He's like, you were, at the Wasatch Warrior show, he's like, you were going up to everybody and saying hi and talking to them. He's like, the Dakota a few years ago would have not done that. And he's like, you have become this more confident, like, person that when you're out and about, that you do things that you wouldn't have a few years ago. And he's like, competing has brought you that and made you grow into more of
I
who
love,
you are as a person. And he's like, you're just more confident
you
in
know,
yourself now.
I love that, Dakota. That's really funny you say that because I was saying that to Jordan like after prejudging on Saturday. I was like so upset. And I said something almost those exact same things. I was like, Jordan, I said after I had American, I stopped being the Brooklyn who would make friends with everybody. I said I stopped doing
Yeah.
that because I think when you go through a lot of mental health issues and you go through like anxiety and you go through a lot of stress and trauma, like you kind of become a shell of yourself, which is not good. Like I kind of went into my hole and I didn't want to come out of my hole. I stopped talking to people. I stopped making friends. I became very like timid and shy, which is not my personality at all if you know me. I
It's none
used
of
to be
ours.
in high school.
Yeah.
It's none of ours. I was very loud and very like friends with it. I was friends with the druggies. I was friends with like the super Mormon like LDS people. I was friends with like the sports people and like I was friends with everybody. Everybody was my friends. I won Miss Congeniality in my pageants twice because I wasn't good at pageants, but everybody liked me, not in a like an ego way, but they were like, "Oh, Brooklyn's cool." I was like, "Thanks, guys. At least I got something." Like Miss Congeniality. But I wasn't that me after I had Brecken. I became And I remember even Jordan said it to me a few times. He's like, you just don't want to like talk to anybody anymore. You like don't want to make friends. And I'm like, I've been through a lot of mental health issues and it's changed my personality. Getting back into competing did, especially this last year and where I am now. I even said to Jordan, I said, for the first time in my life, I actually have friends. Like, not the first time in my life, first time in my adult life since becoming a mom, I have girlfriends who I can lean on and I can trust. And going to these shows allows me to make
Mm-hmm.
my friend group bigger. Like
People with the
that
same
right
aligned
there.
goals, people who deal with the same struggles,
Yeah.
people who understand when you're feeling the ups and downs. And what's so fun about the fit model division right now is everybody's so excited for each other. Nobody's like out to get you. Like fit models, it's such a great community, right? Like I freaking love it. And it's so fun and oh yeah, it's just great. Like and it's funny that you say that because yeah, 100%. I feel that same way. And that's, I mean, you're at the pro level, I'm at the amateur level, and we're both experiencing that.
It's really I actually had someone ask me um about the pros and how it was. She's like, is there a lot of cattiness? And I said, honestly, no. There's none actually. You are so, and the girls are so nice. Like some of these women that I saw last year that I was like, they're really, they, to me, they're very intimidating. Yes, I still get intimidated by other women. And I'm like, I'm a little intimidated by them. So nice. Like, so nice. Like every single pro I've gone up against, I've talked to them and we've had conversations about life and about family. And they're just like you and me, but like I feel like that's the cool thing about, that's why I really like the fit model division, because I won't lie, when I did bikini it was not like that. Fit model, it is like a different, we're just, there's just a different breed of women, and I think a lot of it has to do with like, I don't know what it is, but I really really love this division, especially the last two pro shows I've been to. I'm like, man, these women are amazing. They're incredible. I have nothing but great things to say about each and every one of them. Um, and yeah, I think sometimes like when we work towards goals, we're so results driven. We're so focused on the end result.
Yeah.
We want the pro card, right? I want the Olympia qualification. We want to lose that 15 pounds. We forget who we're actually becoming through the process.
Hmm.
And we don't think about it because we're becoming that new version of ourselves. And we don't think about the people in our lives who come into our lives because of who we're becoming. Because the truth is as I developed into this different version of myself all last season, it allowed me to develop into not only the athlete and person I am right now, but it allowed me to become this version of myself who is able to, I don't know, be more outgoing at shows and have the confidence to talk to all the women and have fun with them and to enjoy them. And I feel like sometimes when we're in the goal, we're in it, we're so, and I know this is me, like, oh, damn it, I didn't place where I wanted to, or I got lower. We forget the most important thing, which is who we are becoming, who we're touching, which I mean, like, whose lives are we touching? Who are the people that we're getting to know, the friendships and relationships we're creating? And I think the most important thing anytime we're working towards a goal is that. Because at the end of the day, I'm very Christian still, like with who I am, like very like
Right.
grounded in God and Christ. I do believe like we are in places in our lives for a reason to help other people or to at least just be there for them, be their friends. And isn't that like the most important thing? And I feel like when you are doing something for yourself that's like a big goal, you do develop into that version of yourself. But we forget about that sometimes. I
Hmm.
do because I'm so goal focused. Like, I just want to get the damn goal. But
Yeah.
we forget about all these other things that are happening around us that are so much
Hmm.
bigger and so much cooler. So
Yeah.
that's kind of an aha moment.
No,
Pretty
I
cool.
actually love that. And I love that you said the person that we're becoming. Not only that, but the people that we're also touching along the way. Like, it's so funny because, yeah, we're becoming this amazing person, but it's also what kind of impact are we having in other people's lives, you know? And so it's just, I love that you said that. Yeah,
I actually had a
that's
girl
awesome.
message me this weekend and she was like, "You're my favorite fit model pro." And I like
Oh,
read it. Sorry, I'm gonna cry.
that's
I
so
like read it
sweet
and I started to get,
though.
yeah, and I was like, "Oh my gosh!" Like, I
That's
forget
me.
that I'm actually like, well, I forget that people are watching me. I forget about that because I'm so focused on myself and where I'm going, right? Have you ever done that? Like, you're so focused, like, I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. I'm not at my goal yet. You forget, like, other people are watching me, and it's like, shit. No pressure, but like, other people are watching me. Like, I think for you, Dakota, too, like other women are watching you. And, I think it's really important to like remind ourselves that when we're in the goal, we're in the like the depths of the struggle and the challenge that like you are an example to someone is watching you, whether it be your kids, maybe your sibling, maybe your best friend. Like for me, it was like a stranger on social media who messaged me. And I have people tell me all the time, like, you're an inspiration. But for her to say, like, I was her favorite pro to watch, I'm like, me? The
Like,
girl
that's
who
a
got
strong
12th place at
word.
her pro show. And, like, the girl who got, like, third call outs at her second pro show. I'm your favorite pro? Are you sure you don't mean the other girls who are getting top five? Like, sometimes we forget the impact that we're having. And regardless if you compete or you don't compete, you are having an impact on someone. So don't forget that impact. And I think for me that was like an aha moment of like I am impacting, but we forget about that
We
because we're so
forget.
focused on the end goal, like the
Mm-hmm.
pro card, the qualification for the
100%.
Olympia, like
The 15 pounds.
you know
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
15 pounds. Like, oh my gosh, but we forget about the people we're impacting, the person we're becoming, the changes, the small, like I see for my clients, I see like, I have a client that will be like, well, I decided I didn't want to go out with my friends this weekend because every time I go out with them, they like force alcohol down my throat. And I'm like, that's
That's
huge.
so
Do you
hard.
not
Yeah.
see that you
Yeah.
2 months ago couldn't even say no to your friends and now you're finally like, guys, I'm not going because you kind of force alcohol on me. I'm like, look at these like big life changes you're making for
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah.
Pretty cool stuff, but
It's
we
funny
forget
that
about that when we're in it.
yeah, for sure. It's funny that you mentioned that. I had a client, it cracked me up. She texted me and um the things that she goes to are very social and there's always drinks and alcohol and stuff. And initially when she was signing on, we had the conversation. I'm like, "Are you willing to not drink certain nights or every night of the, like, what does that look like for you? Are you willing? Because I need you to be willing to give a little." And anyways, she texted me and said, it was so funny, she sent me some pictures and said, "Water shots all night, everybody else is drinking." And I was like, that's such a cool win. Like, that's I thought that was so funny. I was like, and I didn't ask her to do that. That was because she's so driven and excited for her goals that she was able to put aside that night and say, "This isn't worth it for me tonight to have even one drink," you know? And because that's something we talk about with our clients. Like, if you are going to drink, this is how you go about it. Of course, we can't be doing this every night, anyways. But I thought that was so funny. She texted me and was like, "Water shots." I was like, yeah. I
I
thought that
love
was
that.
awesome.
I think that's I think like sometimes, that's her becoming, right? That's her in the becoming
Exactly.
phase of like becoming this new version of herself because she's making these big life changes. For a lot of people, those are huge because they may not seem big at the moment, but they become really big and monumentous because you build off those big changes that you're making. And I think sometimes we forget, like we are so focused, right, on like the 10 pounds or getting to stage that we forget like who we're becoming through the process. And I don't know, I feel like if we could take a minute to reflect back, right? Always measure backwards. to where we started to where we are now, and then we could take a moment to zoom out and just look at like who we're actually becoming, who we were to where we are now, the money, the time, the energy, you wouldn't even cross your mind
Yeah. I
because
mean,
you'd be
what
like,
have
I wouldn't be. I for me. Oh, sorry.
Oh, I was just going to say, we haven't even talked about money until since the beginning of this podcast. Like when we started recording, money initially was a thing. We haven't talked about it the whole time since. And so that it exactly
Yeah.
shows that point that at the end of the day, yeah, money is, it can be a stressor, but it's not everything.
Well, because like if you can focus on and see like who you're becoming through the process, the money doesn't really matter because you're growing into a better version of yourself, and that right there is going to help you. Like I've seen a lot of my clients like start making more money or have like
Hmm.
they start having like side hustles because they have more energy, or they just become like a better version of themselves and they're happier in their lives, so they're spending maybe less money on like, fixes like drinking or like extra like binge foods or anything like that. Like that's so worth it. Like I know the old version of me.
So worth
I'm
it.
not like I've never struggled with alcohol, but I used to struggle with binge eating, and the old version of me who isn't me now, she used to every weekend probably drop anywhere from $30 to $100, probably a couple $100 on just eating shit because I didn't have any big goals for myself. And that version of myself was the most depressed, the most
Hmm.
unhappy, the most insecure. It's all the money that I've spent on like for my goals and where I want to be at in life has I can't even say how much it's been worth it, because for me it was not just an investment, but it was me finally saying like I'm worth this. I am worthy of taking care of myself and investing in my goals. And when you can do that, the money doesn't become an issue anymore. And it's really powerful. And so yeah, I
Hmm.
think you were worried about money, but I think really what you were worried about was like, am I gonna is this gonna happen for me? Like I don't know, like, and I know that's like it's like a fear, like is this gonna happen for me? And I would say like, fuck yeah, like it is going to happen for you. It doesn't matter. It's not a matter of like when, like what is the word, it's like it's a matter
Not
of
if, but
like
when.
if but when, and it will happen for you. But you've got to not let those voices in your head say, is this worth it, is this worth it?
Yes.
Because if you can't stop thinking about it and you love it and you want it, like go all in, make it happen for
Right.
yourself.
Yeah, I love
That's
that.
it.
I think another big thing is I always like to have this conversation with myself. What would it look like if I were to quit today? What would that look like?
Yeah.
I'd be living the same
How does that
lifestyle. I literally would. Let's be freaking for real. I I would.
same?
And then if not, if I went completely off the deep end and started, eating whatever, doing whatever, stopped going to the gym, X, Y, and Z, like let's be realistic, I wouldn't. But if I did, I would end up a month, 2 months down the road being like, well, shit, how do I get back on track? I would literally, I
Mm,
would start myself back at square one or minus one or square minus square. I don't know. But you know what I'm saying.
hard.
That, yeah, I don't think it's math, but we're talking about squares. I don't know. But
That's math, right?
yeah,
Prep brain.
yeah. But I always like to think about, okay, well, what would it look like if I did quit? My life would literally look the same. I just wouldn't compete that weekend. And it's like, the stage is always there. That's one thing I have to remind myself. The stage is always there. And guess what? I am right there. I'm right freaking there. We're gonna do it. And we're gonna get something from it either way. Experience,
Yeah.
exactly. Relationships. So,
Yeah. I love all that. I think like, at the end of the day, you have to ask yourself like, where would I be if I decided to quit right now? Or where would I be if I didn't decide to like go in all in on myself. And if you can truthfully answer that, you probably won't like the answer. Like, and I know for me, there's been times in my life where I have quit. I have quit competing, or I have quit doing things that I really wanted just because I just quit. Like I can't even tell you why, honestly. I probably was a lot of the same like conversations I'm having with myself right now. But I look back and I'm like, why did I quit? Like I don't even remember why. Like I don't even remember what I felt. I just remember I just quit and I just stopped. So like what if for the first time you didn't quit and you didn't let like all those stupid little things take you down and you just kept going? Like I think like that was my season last season. I finally just said fuck it. I'm sick of quitting. I'm not going to quit on this because I've quit on myself way too many times. And I fucked around and I found out what happens when I don't quit. When you finally get to the point in your life where you say I'm done quitting on things that I actually want, you actually will get to where you want to be. But you won't know until you keep trying, until you get there. And then I got here and now I'm trying to like level up even bigger, which is a next level hard. But that's okay too. So let's wrap it up a little bit. I think this is a good podcast for today. Is there anything you wanted to like add or throw out there, Dakota?
One thing I always like to focus on, like when I find myself in these hard places or I find myself like really, in my thoughts and feels, is I like to kind of take it day by day. Say, okay, we have this goal, we have this plan, let's stick to the plan. Let's take it day by day and see how we feel. And, never go off based off your feelings. Always stick to your plan and reassess as needed. And I think that that's super helpful. It's literally day by day.
Yeah, I think just take it day by day and talk to. I would say when you're feeling really low, talk to the people who see your potential and care about you and love you. Love, like, and I say love you, like they love you and they
Mhm.
care about you. Let you work through the emotions, and then they'll encourage you to keep going. I know with my husband, that's what he does. Like, he'll hold me where I'm at when I'm really pissed and frustrated about a show, but then he'll encourage me to keep trying because he knows that I don't want to quit on it. So I think, like everything you said, take it day by day, but find people in your corner who do believe in you. Because when you do that, you'll be invincible, you know? So, anyways, well, we'll wrap this up today. I hope that this was helpful for anybody who is like struggling with self doubt or just wanting to quit. I hope this encourages you to keep going and to just put one step in front of the other. Um, yeah. Anything else you wanted to add, Dakota, before we wrap it up?
No, I love that. I mean, honestly, biggest thing is make sure we say it all the time, have people in your corner that truly support you.
Yep. Yeah. The undoubtable believers of you. Like, we've got great husbands. Casey's great. Jordan's great. They're very similar in that. I'm like, wow, how did we do that one? We did it. Um, they're just really supportive, and that's, yeah,
We're
they're
very
so
lucky.
great. I mean, we're very lucky. Have those people in your corner. So, anyways, guys, thank you so much for listening. Please give us a review, share, like, comment on this podcast. We appreciate you guys, and I hope that this inspired you today to just keep going and go all in on yourself. Thanks, guys.
Bye.